Going on, guys? Bob here. This is the first day I've had off in a few days here, so I've had a stack of movies sitting in the other room for a couple of days now, and I hadn't been able to go through them, so I'm just going to try and go through them as quick as I can because I've got a ton of VHS, bunch of movies that I've never seen that are all blind buys, a couple of movies that I've seen a million times, and then also I picked up some HD DVDs. This week. I didn't pick up any DVDs or Blu-rays, although today is Tuesday, so right when I'm done with this video, I'll probably head out to Bull Moose and maybe hit up the Walmart or the Kmart, see what came out on Blu-ray and DVD, and we'll see what I grab from there. The one DVD that I'm adding to the collection this week that is not something that I bought, but we've been redecorating, moving stuff around. We brought in some new furniture into the house and stuff, and while we were cleaning up, this was found on a different bookshelf, I guess, but that is a copy of Keanu Reeves in The Day the Earth Stood Still. Never seen this. Probably will never see this, despite that it's here. But if it's nice to. I think it must have been the girlfriend's, although she said she didn't think it was hers either. So, don't know whose it is, but I guess it's ours now. So, yeah, I'm gonna add that into the collection. Probably something I'll never watch though. Onto the HD DVDs that I grabbed this week. I picked up 3. They do not get very HD DVDs at Bull Moose very often, and when they do, I try to grab them as quick as I can because I know that there's somebody else. There's at least one other guy who's collect them as well. I see him in there fairly frequently, looking through them, which was surprising. I didn't think there was really any call for them because when I go in there, most of them are still the same. But this is one that they hadn't had before, so I did grab it as soon as I saw it, and that is Dazed and Confused. Haven't watched this movie in years, but it was hilarious. And it's probably even more funny now that I'm older and actually can understand a little bit more because I haven't seen it probably since close to when it came out. But anyway, it's based in the 70s. It's a stoner movie about kids in high school and stuff. So probably one of 3 or 4 watchable and good Matthew McConaughey movies. It's got Ben Affleck in it, a couple other people. I can't think of. Is it Renee Zellweger? Is that who's in this movie? Man, I'm blanking on who else is in this movie, but this is definitely worth $2. I didn't own this movie at all, so if you haven't seen Dazed and Confused, you should check that out. The next one I picked up, and this isn't even open, but not that matters because I'm going to open it and watch it because I didn't own it otherwise. But that is Jim Carrey's Liar Liar. This is obviously well after Ace Ventura and stuff, but still in that same, comedy where he plays kind of a zany character, all over the place kind of a guy, before he got into more serious stuff, and before, he decided that he was super anti a lot of stuff. I don't know if he, what happened to Jim Carrey? Did he, find Jesus or something? I don't know what happened, but I know that he was just in Kick-Ass 2, and decided he wasn't going to promote that movie at all because it was too violent, which didn't make any sense, so, I don't know, I think I heard it was something like the Sandy Hook shootings that all of a sudden Jim Carrey decided he was super anti-violence and stuff, and he's trying to kind of, not that this is violent anyway, he's a different person now, I guess, and more power to him. It's freaking Jim Carrey, and he can do whatever he wants as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, if you haven't seen Liar Liar, you should check that out. But the last movie that I picked up on HD DVD, a movie I've never seen, at least I don't remember ever seeing this movie, but it's a horror movie, so I picked it up, and that is a copy of The Hitcher. You can tell exactly what this movie is about just by the title, I'm sure. At least I did. So that's why I grabbed it. I mean, it's a horror movie. On top of the fact that I am trying to collect every HD DVD. I think I'm about a quarter of the way there. There's only a little over 400, maybe close to 500, and I've got just about 100 HD DVDs, so we're getting there. I'm really only collecting the movies. There's a ton more on... and that's in the U.S., by the way. There's a ton more if you count in concert HD DVDs and stuff, which I really have no interest in. I'm just collecting the films mostly. So that was another one out of the collection. So even if it's horrible, it's just one more on the HD DVDs. Going into the VHS now, I'm going to go through the ones that these are common movies that I think everybody's probably seen at this point. Although there is at least one in here that I haven't seen, and that is Half-Baked. Never seen this. The only thing that I really know about this is the one quote from that's in it with Bob Saget where he says, "I used to suck dick for coke," which I think is a funny line. I like Bob Saget anyway, and this movie came out before he started doing his stand-up comedy again, which is Super Dirty. So it was kind of funny to have seen him in that role, I guess. Well, I haven't seen it, but I've seen that clip a million times online and whatever, and people quote it and whatnot, but I actually have no idea what this movie's about. I mean, I have a guess of what it's about, but there's not even a synopsis on this. The back and the front are just 2 different versions of the same thing, and so we'll see. I guess. Whether or not this is even something I like, it may or may not be. What the hell? In a a much more common movie than that, and it's another movie that I didn't own. I think this movie's on DVD, and I'd like to pick it up that way, but I highly doubt it's on Blu-ray. And that is John Goodman in the Flintstones. Absolutely love this movie. You know, it's a Steven Spielberg movie, although it says a Steven Spielrock movie because ha ha ha. But anyway, this movie is hilarious. You know, it's one of the few TV movies that were, or TV shows that were made into good movies. You know, the other really being the Addams Family, and that's about it as far as I can think off the top of my head. You know, made into live action movies. You know, this is right up there. I love this movie, so I had to pick that up. This is a, yeah, I don't know why I picked this up. I mean, it is a screener tape, which I like to collect. I think that's kind of cool, video store screeners. I like this movie. I actually like it better than the first one, which isn't popular, but it's not great, and it's not really worth owning, in my opinion, I suppose. But for 30 cents, Blair Witch 2. It's Halloween time to start watching the shitty movies and the horror movies. And this definitely falls into one of those two categories, and use your own judgment on that. But, I mean, it's watchable. But again, like I said, it's a screener tape, and I like to collect the screener tapes. You know, on the back of most screener tapes, this is what you find. How much the movie made at the box office, and $30 million, if you know anything about how much the first Blair Witch made, that's nothing. That's a, you know, a drop in the bucket. I'm surprised this movie even made its budget back, in all honesty, because I was working at the movie theater at the time this came out, and nobody was really seeing it. I mean, people went to see it, but $30 million is nothing for a movie to make. And then it usually tells you down here on the bottom, like, how much they plan on spending in advertising. So this one says, you know, over $2.5 million in post-street date advertising. You know, so it's just telling you how much it's to get video store owners to watch this movie and want to put it on their shelves. So I kind of think that they're neat to collect. So that's why I grabbed that. Just real quick, so I'm not spending forever on these. So I did pick up a copy of Three Amigos, which was one of my favorite movies as a child. Didn't own this. Had to grab it. Oh, it's an Orion movie. Yeah, that's true. Hey, that company's long out of business, so I guess there won't be a Three Amigos sequel. But if you haven't seen Three Amigos, it's funny. Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short, you know, play cowboys trying to save a Mexican. They're movie cowboys, and they get, you know, recruited to save a small, like, Mexican village who's being overrun by bandits. So this movie's really funny. This movie's pretty good. I mean, I like it. It's not something that I suppose everybody likes, but I did pick up a copy of The Skulls this week. Paul Walker and Josh Jackson in this movie. Pretty straightforward kind of teen thriller plot about kids in college who are inducted into a secret society. Hadn't watched this movie in a while, and I just felt like watching it recently, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh, 30 cents. Hey, yeah, I've been thinking of watching that, so I grabbed that. A couple other movies that I really loved, you know, when they came out. And I still love this movie to this day, and that's Far and Away. And again, I didn't own this movie at all, and I've been wanting to watch it again because I just really like I'd like to have it on Blu-ray if it's available. I'm not even sure if it is, but because the scope of this movie, literally, well, it's in CinemaScope, but the filmmaking of this movie is just gorgeous, and the soundtrack to this movie is fantastic, and I like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman in it. I mean, I don't know if they were married at this point, because they obviously met on Days of Thunder, and I don't know if they got married before this movie was made. I think that they were married while this movie was being made, so they do have that chemistry at that point in time, way more than they did in Eyes Wide Shut, where you could tell that they were just kind of forcing that, because that was right before their divorce, and that movie sucks anyway. So, but anyway, Far and Away, definitely, if you haven't seen this, it's kind of an epic. They go from Ireland to the U.S. to try and get land because they give away free land in the land rush, which is not exactly how this worked out, but in the movie it's great, and you should check that out. And then the last I got a couple of Clamshell Case too, a couple of kids movies, but the last really common movie that I picked up is just Van Damme's Sudden Death. I'm a big fan of just every once in a while on my day off, I just like to throw in a ridiculous or a generic action movie. Van Damme certainly fits the bill. So I just watched Sudden Death not too long ago, but it was something I didn't own, so I picked that up. And then going into the kids' movies, I've been looking for this movie for a while, and I always find the second one, and I never find the first one. And this one's in perfect shape, and the clamshell's in perfect shape, and they even rewound it. So you can't go wrong with that. But that is a copy of a Goofy movie. And this is one of my favorite Disney cartoon movies from when I was a kid. Well, I wasn't super young when this movie came out. What year was this movie, if it even says on here? Disney never seems to put the year of the release. But I want to say I was probably 10 maybe when this movie came out, maybe a little younger. I mean, it is an older one. I always see an extremely goofy movie when I'm out and about looking for movies, and I never find this one. I think this is on DVD, but it may not be. I only ever see the VHS copies, and when I do, they're always expensive. This one I paid a little bit more than normal. I bought this one at Goodwill, and it was $1.99, but I've been looking for this, and I ended up just picking it up because I think this movie is great. Yeah, I love this movie, and if you haven't seen a Goofy movie, and you like kids' movies at all, you should try and find a copy and check that out. And then the other movie that I got, and this is another one that I love from when I was a kid. Again, this is not really a kids' movie, but you'd think so because it's in a clamshell case. But that is Small Soldiers. And Small Soldiers is it's PG-13 for one. It is pretty dark, and it's also not. I mean, it's not really a straight kids' movie. This movie is directed by Joe Dante, who's he's one of my favorite directors. He directed Matinee, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. A ton of movies. He's he's definitely a big fan of 50s cinema, and it shows through in most of his movies. If you haven't seen other Joe Dante movies, you should definitely go and look into those. But Small Soldiers, it's probably the only Tommy Lee Jones movie that I like. This is Tommy Lee Jones right here. He does the voice of this character whose name I forget right now because it's been a while since I've seen this. He's part of the Commando Elite. Yeah, I can't remember the character's name. I haven't seen this movie in probably 10 years, but I love this movie. Chip Hazard. Yeah, Chip Hazard is the character's name on here. So this is the Chip Hazard. They're actually the bad guys. You wouldn't think so because Small Soldiers, and this is but they're the bad guys, and these are the good guys in the back, the Gorgonites. So great fun. It's a great fun movie. Wouldn't necessarily watch it with a little kid, but yeah, you should definitely check this out. And it was $1.99 at the Goodwill, but it was red tag, so I got it for $1. Definitely couldn't beat that. And now going into the movies that I had no idea about really. The first one I picked up, and it's not in here right now because it's in the VCR because we were watching the other night, and that is Rollerblade. Not very good. I didn't even finish it yet. It's a Sexploitation movie, and it was just so bad. And we were laughing, through most of it, but then it just got really boring. I'm not even going to waste time telling you what it's about. Really, it's just about, a future society with nuns who don't kill people even though they carry around knives. They use knives to heal. Not very good. It is super violent, and there's plenty of nudity because it's an 80s Sexploitation movie, but honestly, I don't even know if it was worth the 30 cents, although somebody must think so because it sells for like $15 on eBay, on Amazon, so whatever. Another movie that I've never seen, but I did pick up because it's a horror movie, and what the heck, and that is Link with Elizabeth Shue. And never heard of this movie, just grabbed it based solely on the cover because the monkey face is awesome, and Elizabeth Shue basically plays a zoology student who gets attacked by chimps or a chimpanzee or whatever the case may be. Anyway, I like again, it's a really gorgeous box art. This is all a painting. There's Elizabeth Shue down here. It's all painted and stuff. It's really nice. That's half the reason I collect VHS, especially horror VHS. I wish this was in better shape. Bull Moose gets more VHS tapes than you'd think. Every week there's a ton more, and somebody recently must have dropped off a ton of tapes, but unfortunately, somebody scribbled Norma, well, I guess it was Norma, she scribbled her name in Sharpie across the top of a lot of cases, so this one was on a sticker, and I peeled it off, and then I've got a copy of the movie Troll that she had also written her name on. It was on a sticker, but a lot of the movies were just in Sharpie, and I didn't want to buy them because she'd ruin the box. And next time, Norma, just put it on a damn sticker, okay? But anyway, so the next movie I bought was Troll, and never seen this either. Have seen Troll 2. Honestly, don't think they really have anything to do with each other. I think that they just called Troll 2 because there's goblins in it. I don't know. Never seen this. PG-13 horror movie, but it's from the 80s, which means it's probably closer to an R-rated horror movie because that's how they did PG-13 back in the day. So definitely be checking this out because it's Halloween time. It's that time of year. And speaking of Halloween and horror movies, I did pick up a colorized version of Night of the Living Dead. Never seen this in color. Have it on DVD, but it's in black and white as it should be. The colorization on the box is so bad that I had to check this out. I have to see if it's actually as bad as it is on the box. You can't really, I don't know if you can really tell, but even on the back here, it's just blue and orange. The flesh tones are like an orange yellow. Even on the zombie, it looks like they're orange yellow, maybe some green. They just colorize them straight green. It's probably going to be horrible, but I didn't own a colorized version, and you know, this may be from before. I don't know when it went into the public domain, but this video is from 1985, so I don't know if this was before it went into the public domain, and this is like an official colorized version, or if they just did it for funsies. I don't know, but I'll check it out. I did pick up a copy of a movie I've never seen, but I love Kevin Bacon, so I did pick up this movie, Criminal Law. And I've known nothing about this movie. It's Gary Oldman and Kevin Bacon. Figured it was good. Looks like a good suspense thriller movie. And you know, for another one, these are so cheap that I just figured, even if it's horrible, it's just another movie in the collection. Since I had such a good time with the last Linda Blair movie I bought, that was like an 80s action movie, I did pick up this other one that I saw. The other one was Savage Streets, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was on a kind of an exploitation movie, it's super violent and stuff, and rape movie and whatever. But this is Silent Assassins with Linda Blair. Don't know anything about this movie. Bought it based solely on the cover. There's some ninjas in the background, and Linda Blair badly holding a gun, and some dude with like an AK. I don't know. It seems ridiculous. I'm gonna check it out at some point. One of these nights, the girlfriend and I will just sit and we'll just watch another ridiculous action movie like we're wont to do lately. All these 80s movies. So we'll let you know how that one is. And speaking of other ridiculous movies, I picked up this movie I've never heard of. I'm not even sure if it's an American movie, because in the background it looks like it might be a. The guy on the front looks American, but then on the back, the character's name is Leo Fong, so I'm not sure. But anyway, this movie was called Low Blow. If you know anything about this movie, let me know, because I have no idea. All I know is it's rated R because there's a giant video rental sticker on there. And I read through the synopsis and I was like, yeah, action movie, yeah, I'll check it out. Whatever, we'll see. But maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I don't know. Maybe it's indifferent. But if you know anything about this, let me know before I bother wasting my time. The one movie that I know I'm not going to waste my time on, and I'm probably going to end up watching this movie today. I bought this based on the cover almost alone. I didn't even read the synopsis until I got home. But that is Gary Busey and Eye of the Tiger. Look at how gorgeous that cover is. This is all a painting. Gary Busey holding a child and stuff. Gary Busey's name is almost as big as the title itself. Definitely have to check this out. It sounds like a Walking Tall kind of movie, where Busey gets out of prison and he goes home to be with his daughter, and there's some sort of corrupt sheriff in town, and I don't know, it's an action movie and stuff, and it's definitely before Busey, had the motorcycle accident and got crazy and stuff and got hooked on the drugs. So hopefully this is a pretty, straightforward Busey movie. And it looks like it could be okay. I love these movies, these 80s action movies, and I actually didn't mind Gary Busey before he went crazy. And speaking of which, I think when I go to Bull Moose later, I'm going to see if I can find a copy of Rookie of the Year with Gary Busey, because I haven't seen that in forever. But anyway, guys, that's all I got right now. I've tried to rush through this as quick as possible, but I know this is a super long video, so the next one I'll try and shorten it up. Maybe I'll break it up again like I did with that other one. But anyway, do the normal YouTube stuff like rate and subscribe. If you saw anything you want to trade, you want to buy, whatever the case may be. I'm paying nothing for these, so I'm not looking to make a profit. But anyway, my email is in the description, so if you saw anything you like and wanted to trade, let me know. And you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.